Hello everybody and welcome to That Matt 85. We are doing another Goodwill games today. This time it's going to be a series of the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire PC games for Windows 95 or 98. This includes Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, First Edition, Second Edition, and Kids Edition. We play them all here today and I'll give you a bit of a review of them as you get to see me playing them. So let's start with a bit of an introduction. If you were alive and conscious in the 90s, chances are you know what Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is. In fact, they're still showing the show nowadays, except I think it's just called Millionaire, and the host is Jimmy Kimmel. The host at the time when it first started, and at the time that this game was published, was Regis Philbin, as you would have seen at the beginning. Throughout the game, his likeness is used and his voice is used, especially to announce what level you're at, how much money you've won, if you're correct, if you're not correct, etc., etc. The premise of the game is pretty straightforward and simple. There's going to be 15 questions you're going to go through one at a time. Each question has a different dollar amount associated with it. If you get the question right, you have won that much money. So for example, the first question is worth $100. The second question is worth $200. If you win the $200, you're not getting the total $300. You've just moved up to the $200 mark. If you quit, you get that $200. Of course, this being a PC game, why would you quit unless you're having just some sort of party and you're trying to see who can do the best without losing. That being said, after you've answered 5 questions correctly, there's an automatic save spot. If you lose, you would go down to that save spot, and on the actual game show, you would be walking away with this actual money, so it would make a bit more of a difference. But again, on the PC game, you might as well just try to get as high as you can, especially since I was playing by myself. There wasn't anybody to compare to. I just wanted to see if I could get the $1 million. The questions were kind of very random, stuff that you would be expected to know, but in several different categories. It could be talking about science or math or history or politics or a lot of pop culture stuff too, either current pop culture, current for the time, or recent history pop culture. For each question, it would give you 4 possible answers and you would choose from the 4 answers which one you want. It also gives you a time limit. To help you with all these questions, because you may not know all of them, there are 3 lifelines, as they're called. The lifelines are 50-50, phone a friend, and poll the audience. And again, these are changed a bit so that they would work for you at home. The poll the audience at the time would poll the actual live studio audience, and it's not often quite as reliable, and even if you use it in this game on harder questions, it may not be correct. The phone a friend, again on the real game show, would let you pick from one of your 10 friends that hopefully are standing by, and they would call them live in studio where you could ask them a question. Hopefully they would have the expertise you needed to answer the question and help you. In this case, they have a recording of somebody with some witty banter back and forth with Regis Philbin and then giving an answer. Again, not always correct, but generally correct. And then you have 50-50, which will cut down the amount of answers to just 2, one of them being the right answer. As you progress your way up, the questions are supposed to get harder and harder, and generally they do, but sometimes it just depends on where your area of expertise is. There's also a multiplayer mode, which basically just starts off with allowing the different players to try and do a quick question to see who will get to play and who will get to play second, basically, and then being able to compare the scores. But even without that, if you play single player mode, at the end it will record your score and put a name on there as you can see here, to check the leaderboard for everybody else that's played. As far as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Kids Edition, it still has Regis Philbin hosting. In this edition, he says a lot of kids' catchphrases at the time, like "this is the bomb" and "that's whack." But also, the questions are a bit easier. Easier as in the general knowledge questions, but what makes this difficult is the pop culture questions, of which they have a lot, really pertain to what kids were watching at the time and may not be relevant anymore. Lucky for me, I am a kid of the 90s, so I still have all this trivia in my head. Much like the other game show games that I've been playing lately on the PC. This is very fun to play with friends, even if it's not directly with them, being able to have them around and help you with the questions, working as a team to try and become a millionaire. It's a lot of fun. And it's fun to challenge yourself even if you're not. It's a good pick up and play game. Take up a few spare minutes to try and figure out the different questions of the time. And with so many questions and so many different editions, you could probably play several different times before you actually run out of questions or have it start doubling up the different questions. Honestly, there's not a whole lot else to say about this. It's a fun little game show game that you can pick up and play. If you're feeling bored, just want to spend a little time or want to have fun with friends. It's very nostalgic, especially if you used to watch this when you were a kid. But, you know, especially for a game I found at Goodwill, a game that you could probably find online for $5 for the whole set, it could definitely eat up a good amount of time. If you're like me and you're looking to fill out some software for your old computers, this one doesn't take up a whole lot of resources. You may not need, I at least didn't need any sort of special video card or anything. It's able to play quite easily, and again, a lot of fun to play. Something that I don't want to sit down and play for hours on end, but something that every couple of days I wouldn't mind dropping in when I'm not sure what else to do. With all that being said, unfortunately the host here, Regis Philbin, had passed away not too long ago, which is part of what prompted me to start playing these games. Besides that, I had him and I like it. So rest in peace to Mr. Regis Philbin. Had a lot of fun watching him do this game show and also doing his Regis and Kathy Lee, Regis and whoever else he did the show with in the mornings on ABC. And if you enjoyed watching this little mini review, take a look at the rest of my channel, the rest of my reviews, Goodwill Games, Tech Chats, several other things that I have. Would like to remind you that liking the video helps me immensely, lets me know that you're out there. If you like what I'm seeing, drop a subscribe so you can see when I release new videos. Feel free to add any comments of any sort. I would like to see them and will often respond to them. Check me out on Twitter also to see when new videos are dropping, to get any other insight I have in the world of technology, video games, and also to see when I'm doing my WWE and AEW podcast with my buddy John Bear. Thank you everybody for watching this, and we'll catch you next time.